I talked about fibrinolytic enzymes, scar tissue or fibrin-eating enzymes. This is the most important point. An enzyme preparation, all the enzymes in your body, you take the pancreatin, you take whatever else, if you eat a lot of pineapple, you take the bromelain. They are activated, they are kicked into action by the strongest fibrinolytic enzyme that you've got. I was talking to Dr. Karl Ronsberger, who owned an enzyme company. I was talking to him in Munich. We were having lunch. And I said, okay, so what's the most important enzyme in your preparation? Is it the pancreatin? Is it the this? Is it the that? He goes, no, it's none of that. It's the chymotrypsin. Chymotrypsin? How can that be? You've only got 1 milligram of chymotrypsin per pill in this preparation. He goes, no, you don't understand. You can have as much of all of the other enzymes as you want. They will do virtually nothing until they have something, some synergist, to get them going, to kick them into action, and to direct their function. The strongest fibrinolytic enzyme in an enzyme preparation takes the lead to cause the other enzymes to work. So you can take just plain old pancreatin, 8X. You can find the strongest pancreatin you want. You can throw in the bromelain, you can throw in the papain, and unless you put in a substantial amount of a highly fibrinolytic enzyme on top of that, what you just took will go in one end, go out the other, and go to feed the fish. Throw in a highly fibrinolytic enzyme, and all of a sudden, all those other guys will work. Now, of all the fibrinolytic enzymes on the planet, serrapeptase is the strongest. Serrapeptase is made by silkworms. Think of what silk is. This butterfly uses the serrapeptase to dissolve its way out of the cocoon so it can be born. It just secretes this stuff, and the silk just kind of sloughs away. You can take a piece of silk, hang it from top to ends, shoot at it, the bullet will not penetrate through the silk. It will raise the silk, it will graze it, but it won't penetrate it. That's how strong silk is. Silk is stronger than any mammalian connective tissue, any mammalian scar tissue. So anything that will work on dissolving away silk will be a super strong fibrinolytic agent. Those of us who took physiology may have been told, some teachers said this, some teachers didn't. My physiology prof, Dr. Michael Michelli, made it very, very, very plain. He said, old age begins at 27. And those of us in class went, oh, because we were getting pretty close to being 27. Why? Dr. Max Wolf discovered the why. Between 27 and 35, our enzyme levels drop. They don't only drop, they plummet. You make a finite amount of enzymes in a lifetime. You use most of these up by the time you're 27. If you maintain that level of output, your body knows that you'd be dead before you're 40. Because three days after you made your last systemic enzyme, you're stone cold dead. You've got nothing to get your chemical reactions going. You've got the life force of sap running down a tree in December or of a rock. From 27 on, we begin to build fibrosis in our internal organs. We all learn in anatomy that this is eventually what kills us. Because as that fibrosis builds in the internal organ diminishes in size. As it diminishes in size, it diminishes in function. Any of you who've ever done anatomy with cadavers know that if you've got a young cadaver on one side, organs are fully formed, really nice looking, soft. If you've got the cadaver of a very aged senior on the other, the organs look like raisins. They're dried out. They're substantially smaller, usually by 2/3. Try to cut through them, and it's like cutting through an Italian bread you've left on the kitchen counter for a week. Instead of nice and as with the younger organs. With the diminution in size comes a lessening of function. Eventually, that's what kills us. Now, this doesn't just happen to the internal viscera, it happens to the brain. It happens to the blood vessels, the scarring over. Forms the matrix on which arteriosclerotic plaque is laid down. So you don't just get the calcium and fat and heavy metal buildup, first you get this spider web of scar tissue go across the intima, the internal portion of the blood vessel, because of some sort of an insult or a strain, overwork, or the blood vessel is just weak. It builds that connective tissue there to shore itself up. And then on that connective tissue accrue the fats, the calcium, and the heavy metals that we know form arteriosclerotic plaque.